Hello everyone. I wanted to do an update video on my Vanda Pachara Blue and on my Vandas in general. I did a video a few weeks ago that I thought that Vanda Pachara Blue had a magnesium deficiency. And the orchid angel swooped in, also known as Michael. And Michael told me that did not look like a magnesium deficiency to him. It looked like a nitrogen deficiency. You know, sometimes we all need a little help from our friends. So I took his advice and it worked. I'm still losing the leaves that were turning so yellow a few weeks ago, but let me show you what's going on with Vanda Pachara Blue. Okay, as you see, I still have two yellow brownish leaves that are drying up. But do you see these other bottom leaves here? These were doing the very same thing. That was what kind of got me. And so they were starting to turn yellow as well. So once I started this fertilizer recipe, they stopped turning yellow and they're starting to turn green again. So at least I was able to save the other bottom portion of this plant, the leaves. I didn't want to lose all of these leaves, and that was what was about to happen. So let me show you how I changed my fertilizer recipe and what turned these leaves. They're still turning green. Every time I fertilize them, you can tell that they improve. So let me show you what I'm doing. Okay, I dropped the Epsom salts from this recipe. This is what I started doing just a few days after my previous video, and I'm going to provide a link to that video in the description box below. But what I did was I increased the Better Grow Orchid Plus to 3/4 of a teaspoon. Everything else pretty much stayed the same, but I don't add any more Epsom salts. He said that too much magnesium inhibits your nitrogen uptake. So that would have made the problem even worse. And the recommendation was that my nitrogen should be at about 150 to 200 parts per million. And when I was fertilizing at a half a teaspoon, my nitrogen equivalent was only about 100 parts per million. Vandas need a lot of fertilizer. So I know that this looks like a very high parts per million, 600 to 650 parts per million, but they have all just turned greener, not just Vanda Pachara Blue. All of them just seem to have really benefited from the extra fertilizer. So that's what I was wanting to share with you today. And Michael also mentioned that instead of soaking for a 24-hour period of time, that it would be better if I did 2 fertilizer soaks in 1 week. And that really made a lot of sense to me. So this is what I'm doing. Well, this is what I did this week. Okay, on Tuesday, I soaked it 24 hours in that fertilizer solution I just showed you. Then on Thursday, I soaked it in about 20 drops of CalMag only. And then yesterday, I filled up the vases with the fertilizer solution again. So on an every other day, they're getting either fertilizer or CalMag. So the next time that I soak them, they'll get the CalMag. So you can kind of see how I am just, they're going to get fertilizer soaks twice a week, 24 hours. And so they're going to get a higher fertilizer dose. So that's what they're needing. And today is a beautiful day, so I'm just going to show you how beautiful and green they are. Really, they all responded the very first time that I increased their fertilizer dose. It was almost like they were saying, yes, this is what we need. So in other words, Vandas need a lot of sunlight. They need a lot of fertilizer to grow and to bloom the way that they should. And several of you have asked me for a close-up of the buds on this spike on my Robert's Delight Garnet Beauty. It looks like I'm going to have either 6 or 7 blooms on this spike. They're going to be blooming very soon. That's great news. And let me show you the entire plant. This is absolutely a beautiful Vanda. The symmetry of this one is just gorgeous, and the roots, oh my goodness. So I'm so grateful that I learned how to fertilize these well. Maybe in the summer I might even up the fertilizer amount to a teaspoon per gallon. We'll see. If the 3/4 teaspoon, pardon me, seems to work well, I think that's probably where I'm going to keep it for right now anyway. But they seem to all be doing really well. And I wanted to show you the amount of sunlight that my Vandas receive as well. These are in western facing windows, and that is a really important thing to keep in mind. Vandas require a lot of sunlight. And I've mentioned this in some other videos, but several of you have asked me, why do my Vandas not bloom? I really think that most of the reason why plants don't bloom is because they're not receiving enough sunlight. So now that I'm giving these enough fertilizer so that they are going to grow even better, I'm looking for even better bloom cycles. But just remember, they need to be fertilized well. Vandas need to be fertilized well. Don't be shy about it. And they need a lot of sunlight to bloom and to grow the way that they're supposed to. So I thought I would end this video with a beautiful view of Vanda Tayani cerise. I absolutely love this Vanda. And again, Michael, kudos. I appreciate you very much for sharing your knowledge about Vandas. And I hope that helps you all as well. And you all be highly favored, deeply loved, and greatly blessed. And we'll see you next time.